Yo, what's up, guys? It's King Sean here, and day 3 of the NFL draft has officially concluded. Well, actually, I think it's still going on now, but for the Commanders at least, it has officially concluded. We took Andre Jones, a linebacker out of Louisiana State, at 233, the 233rd pick in the 7th round. I'll talk about that a little later. In today's video, I'll break down every single player the Commanders took today, day 3, starting with who you guys see on my screen, offensive lineman Brandon Daniels. I love Brandon Daniels a lot. When I watch film on him, he's pretty good. Obviously, he's very versatile. Versatility is what Ron absolutely loves. That's why we took Ricky Stromberg um, on day 2 yesterday in round 3, because he can play both center and guard. So that's why we took him. Uh, Brandon Daniels can play even more than him. He can play obviously guard, center. He played a bit center. Actually, at I want to say the Senior Bowl, he actually started at center, which is very interesting. So that is very interesting. He could play center if we were moving to center, but I feel like we should start him off at guard. He also played tackle. He started 17 games at guard. He started 43 out of 49 games he's played in college. Of those 43, 17 at guard, 12 at left tackle, I'm pretty sure, and 10 at right tackle. That is pretty solid. Brandon Daniels, very solid tackle. I think last year on 1300 snaps, he only allowed 5 sacks, which isn't bad at all. And I mean, the Pac-12, they don't really have great defenders. I mean, in 2021, and before that, they did have Kayvon Thibodeau, Levi Onwuzurike, so they did have those guys, but I can't really think of anybody in the Pac-12. But still, Brandon Daniels, 11 as an offensive lineman. If I had to give my grade, I'll come out with all my grades tomorrow. I'll fully break down our entire draft tomorrow, Sunday. So stay tuned for that. But that is Brandon Daniels. Moving on to our next pick. In our next pick on day 3, we traded up with the Bills. We traded the 150th pick, that is a 5th round pick, and our 215th pick, which is a 6th round pick, to trade up to 137 for KJ Henry. I like KJ Henry a lot. He racked up 53 tackles. Well, he racked up 50 plus tackles, I'm pretty sure. 9 TFLs, 3.5 sacks, and had 53 pressures last season for Clemson, which led Clemson. Note, they had Myles Murphy too, which was their best player on the defensive line. Well, there's also Brian Bresee as well, so you can kind of argue, but still, KJ Henry, I love him. I projected him to go probably in the 3rd round for sure, late 3rd round, early 4th round, and we got him in the 5th round, 137th pick. Kind of weird because last year, the first 5th round pick was 144th pick, so 137th pick, I would see that as a 4th round pick. But still, getting KJ Henry in the 5th round when he's projected to be a 3rd or 4th round pick is really good value. This is probably our best pick in terms of value. And KJ Henry pick, this is a really good pick because we don't know what's gonna happen with Montez Sweat and Chase Young. I'm 100% confident they want to keep Montez Sweat. Chase Young, don't know if he balls out, definitely keep him. But it's a good thing to draft an edge rusher, and KJ Henry is probably a top 10 edge rusher in this year's draft class. I like KJ Henry a lot. He's a great fit. Played the 4-3 at Clemson. He has pretty good pass rushing moves. That was a spin move I saw this one clip I watched when watching some of his highlights. So KJ Henry, I like him a lot. Probably would give it probably our best pick in terms of value, so probably like a B plus. So moving on to the next pick. Now, next pick, Chris Rodriguez Jr. Surprisingly, I saw some fans didn't like this pick. Kind of understandable. They want a bit of a more explosive running back. If we are taking a running back late in the draft, someone like Kenny McIntosh or Zach Evans. But I personally think Chris Rodriguez is a great pick. He averaged 6.2 yards per carry during his time at college. That is I think last year that is actually 5.2 last year. That was second in the SEC. I don't know who was behind. I'm probably gonna assume maybe Jahmyr Gibbs, but still, 5.2 yards per carry. That's really good, especially in the SEC. I mean, a great conference like that with Jalen Carter, Will Anderson Jr., Brian Branch, who is great in the run game. So, I mean, the SEC is the most similar conference in college to the NFL. Obviously, the NFL is way higher than conferences in college football, but if you were to compare, SEC is really the most similar to the NFL. And the fact that Chris Rodriguez was able to produce like this in the SEC is very impressive. His 2021 season was better than his 2022 season, but he did miss some time in 2022. I think it was either due to injury or maybe he got suspended. I don't know, but in 2021, he played all 13 games, 225 rushing attempts, 1,378 yards, 10 touchdowns, 4.7 yards per carry. 6.1 yards per carry. That is absolutely insane. And in 2022, 8 games, 175 rushing attempts, 904 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 5.2 yards per carry. Like I mentioned, Chris Rodriguez, he isn't the most explosive back, but he has great balance. Like he has probably, you could argue, like top 5 balance out of all the running backs in this year's draft class. He's kind of similar to Alvin Kamara. Well, in terms of like balance, Alvin Kamara isn't the most explosive back, but he does have really, really good balance. Like if someone tries to knock him down, he's gonna stay out up some way somehow, and that's exactly what Chris Rodriguez showed in college. Chris Rodriguez is basically a watered down Brian Robinson Jr. He's 6 foot, 217 pounds. Brian Robinson 6'2", probably like 228 pounds, I think. So he's basically a watered down Brian Robinson Jr. But still, I just love Chris Rodriguez. Now that we got him, it's gonna be Brian Robinson, running back 1, obviously. Antonio Gibson, he's going to be used as he was used in college. He's going to be our receiving back, our third down back, basically our J.D. McKissic. Now that J.D. McKissic's gone, he's going to be taking the J.D. McKissic role as our third down back, and Chris Rodriguez will be the backup to Brian Robinson, coming in sometimes in the rotation to take the load off of Brian Robinson sometimes. So I love the Chris Rodriguez pick a lot. And then finally, Andre Jones Jr. out of Louisiana Lafayette. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I would be lying if I told you guys I knew who this was. I do not know who this guy is. Like I really do not. But he looks. I mean, just based off his stat, he looks solid. He was projected as a 7th round pick or an undrafted free agency. We got him in the 7th round, so value right there. 6 years at college, which is a long time. 6 years at college. That's kind of crazy. He's 25. He's gonna turn 26 in October, so he's kind of old for your average rookie. But let me just read off some of his stats. He's listed as an outside linebacker, basically a defensive end. We need edge rusher depth, so I guess this is a solid pick right there. In 2022, he played 12 games, had 24 tackles, 8.5 tackles for loss, 7.5 sacks, and an interception. In 2021, he played in 14 games, 35 tackles, 9.5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks. And then 2020, he played in 11 games, 2022 tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. And then he also played in 2019, 2018, 2017. Like I said, he was at college for 6 years at Louisiana, which is kind of insane. I'm gonna just read off some of his strengths real quick. Adequate size with good length along the edge, punches and separates from blocker before seeking out the ball carrier, quick feet to dart around traffic looking for the tackle, attacks blockers with forceful hands and lead shoulders. So I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea who this is, like I said, but maybe he could show us some promise in off-season workouts, OTAs, mandatory minicamp, rookie minicamp, training camp, in the preseason. So we'll see. But yeah, that is basically it. That is day 3. The NFL draft wrapped up for the Commanders. Is about to wrap up for the entire NFL right now. Undrafted free agency will start right afterwards. So if he makes any signings, I will report that immediately. This is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below who is your favorite pick on day 3 of the draft. I'm on the road to 2K subscribers, so if you could hit that sub button, I'd really appreciate it. And other than that, it's been King Shot, and I'm out. Peace.